All right, folks, my next guest is a return guest. He's a phenomenal MC based out of Fresno, California. This is his third time on the show. I appreciate you showing Off the Grid some love. The dude is on fire. Since the last time we spoke, he's probably done about a bajillion shows. He went out to New York, put it down, was at the Rhyme Fest, spit it out there too as well. And he still finds time to record. So I'm quite amazed with this young man. Hey, I wanted to welcome my brother back, MC Wicks. Hey, thank you for joining us today. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for having me, man. It's always a pleasure. You already know.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So yeah, today we talked about going over your Infinite Power album, 14 tracks that you released a couple months ago. Man, how's it been? How's the response been on that album?
Oh man, it's been pretty good, man. It's been a lot of love, and I was excited to make that one because I got a lot of dope joints that are good for the live set. I got
Yeah.
into doing my last few albums. I had my spiritual internal healing album, and then I had my street social commentary kind of thing going on. So it felt good to come back to the roots, man. Back to the MC and man, like
Yeah.
two turntables and a mic.
You do something again that you did on that last album. You put in a couple spoken word joints. Are you performing those on your live sets now?
I haven't thrown them on my live sets yet,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Maybe I'll test it out. Maybe I'll try it out. I really have no idea how the response would be.
Yeah. Good point. Because
But
it's
you
a
know what?
different crowd.
On the shout out to the producer, Borkner Park. He also produced Vivid Visions.
Okay.
And he produced that full length. And I have
Okay.
a poem on there too called "Pray for Fresno," and it's kind of like a bittersweet kind of thing because I've been introducing the poetry into the albums, and
Yeah. I
a lot
love
of
it.
people are saying like, "Oh, that's my favorite song," but it's a poem, and I'm like, "Damn!" I'm like, dope, because I'm like, they like the poetry, but then I'm like, "Damn, they like the poems more." But shout out to Buckner Park, man. I'm gonna be doing that more because the people they are loving the poetry on the album.
Yeah, I did. No, I definitely like it. It just it breaks it up nicely, and it lets you soak up all the battle focused raps, and then you get that as like kind of an interlude. That's how I saw it, like as an interlude, and I liked it. I thought it was dope, diverse.
People are loving them, man. I want to start doing more of that. Maybe I'm gonna just sprinkle them through in the albums throughout the years, but
Yeah,
eventually, if people keep liking it, maybe I'll do a whole album like that one day. Where it's just kind of those dope loops that you can
yeah,
kind of just talk over. I
yeah,
wouldn't be opposed to doing that in the future at some point, but
yeah,
for now, I'm gonna just because it's a whole new genre, a whole new world. So I'm slowly
yeah.
introducing it to my audience, like easing them into that world of poetry.
Yeah, as much work that you put out and do, I could see a solo joint just like that. Now, I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think it's good. And it's totally like it's like when you hear it, you're like, oh, that doesn't sound like shit MC Wicks would do, and then it just displays how wide your tool set is. So that's why I'm a fan.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, man. Shout out to Borkman Park, man, with those loops and all that, man.
Yeah. Hey, did he do the entire Infinite Power album, or was it a mix?
He did all the beats, yeah, every
Okay.
single one.
Yeah, it makes sense. It flowed very nicely. And Infinite Power, man, I'm curious, what's the story behind the name of the album? Did you know the name of the album before you were finished recording it or no?
I didn't know the name automatically, but I do know that I've been wanting to make powerful music, like power music, something like
Yeah.
impactful, like inspirational. And this album has a little bit of that. It's a lot of MCing, but I've been trying to like for a few years I was trying to come up with an album title that had the word power on it. And then
Gotcha.
I don't know, fucking infinite power, that's what came to mind. I think I say it in one of the lines. Sometimes
Yeah.
I get my album titles from like a bar, like Steady Stalin.
Okay.
That old
Oh,
school album, like Steady
yeah.
Stalin, got the crowd wilding. Like sometimes when I can't come up with a name, I'll listen to the whole album and I'm like,
Ah,
I'll look for like a phrase. But in this album and the song called Never Forgotten,
yep, number one.
the the first bar I say is like, I'm forever my G, better remember it. Infinite power that beat. Mike checking it. And I was like, oh, that's the title, Infinite Power right there. So yeah, I just got it from the
Ah,
ball. I've been wanting to make power music. I was inspired by the 48 Laws of Power. You know, if you look at the album
yep.
cover, it's the color scheme, the red and the blue.
Okay.
When I think about power, I think about Robert Greene. I think about the 48 Laws of Power, and I also think about my pops, man. Rest in peace,
Yes,
Frank
sir.
Alvarez. He's a Yaqui native. You know, he was somewhat of a shaman, somewhat of a philosopher, somewhat of
Okay.
a slick talker, a wise man. You know, when we were young, he used to make us all stand in a circle, and he would stand in the middle of the circle and just drop game for like 2, 3, 4 hours, and then
That's
like
awesome, man.
I actually like listening to it. My other brothers and sisters, they didn't like hearing that shit, but even then, I would listen for like an hour or two, and then my ears would turn off because it's like, damn, we're here for 2 hours, like. And it was on some militant shit too. Like you had to stand up straight, you couldn't sit down, you had to stand up the whole time and just listen to him talk like he's like a drill sergeant or something. But when I think about power, I think about my pops, and I also think about 48 Laws of Power. So I had to
Yeah.
pay homage to them on the cover, man. Infinite Power.
Yeah, rest in power indeed to your pops. And that was actually my next question was the significance of the cover art. So I didn't know that the color scheme had particular meaning and there was a tie to the 48 laws of power. And so is that individual, the guy on the cover, who looks like he's dressed like a shaman? I'm not sure. Was that your father or is that you
Yeah,
symbolizing
that's
your father through that?
that's actually a picture of my dad. That's like one of my favorite pictures of him. And
Oh,
shout
damn.
out to Will Intangibles. He did the album cover, and I
Yeah.
sent them. It's an old picture from probably like the early '90s,
Oh
so it's
man.
kind of like pixelated, you know.
Okay.
And then that chest plate that he
Yeah.
has, that's like that's a very important piece in the culture, you know, what he was rocking, you know, that
Nice.
chest plate. So, and there's a lot of details in it. So
Yeah.
shout out to Will Intangibles because he made that artwork so good, and the material he had to work off of was very like pixelated, but he was still able to make it come through like very detailed, man.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. And so I love it even more now that I know it's a tribute to those things. And so I always thought you were Hispanic. Do you have some Native American in you, or are you just
Yeah, my mom's Mexican and my dad is Yaqui
okay?
from the Yaqui tribe. They're from they have two reservations originally. They're from Sonora, Mexico,
Okay,
but there was some kind of war that happened. I think Spain came through or something, and then they had to migrate, and then they came to Arizona.
okay.
So we have two reservations, but yeah, the Yaqui tribe, man.
Wow.
When I
Yeah,
was younger, we went to all the sweat lodges and the ceremonies and things. I used to know a lot more about my culture, man. And then I kind of like my pops and my moms, they had a falling out. And then when I was younger, I was kind of angry about it, and I kind of forced myself to forget all of the
oh, I
lessons and
see.
all of the knowledge. Like I
Sure.
erased it in my own mind. And I'm like, I wish I never did that, but like I said, he would talk every day for like 3 hours.
Yeah,
So
you absorbed all
no
that.
matter no matter how much I try to suppress that, it's always going to be there subconsciously.
Yep.
And then certain things will happen in life, and then the memories will come back here and there. But I do want to I want to learn how to speak Spanish.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to start working on that because our tribe, the original reservation is from Sonora, Mexico, and the way our people teach is through word. We don't write books. We don't talk to the media. We don't talk to outsiders.
Yeah.
If you want the wisdom and the knowledge, you have to actually go to the land and
See.
actually go to the people and talk to the elders. You know, if you don't talk to the elders, you're not going to get it. Like and they're
Yeah.
not going to give it to everyone. It's like sacred knowledge. So,
Sure.
in order for me to truly have a true understanding of like myself and my culture, I need to learn the language, and I need to go out there to the reservation right there, Sonora.
Yeah. That'll give you
So,
some deep insight, man. As much things that you do, man, and the, the way that you make things manifest, man, I wouldn't be surprised you pick up Spanish quite quick, man. So yeah, wouldn't be surprised at all.
I got to work on it, man. It's gonna take a while. It's a complex language in a sense because one thing
Yeah.
can mean 100 things based on off of like context or tone, you know.
Yeah.
So that's but I'll get there, you know.
Yeah. I have no doubt, my brother, that you will do that. Well, hey man, like I was telling you before we started, man, I really enjoyed the album and it just again track after track, and I wanted just to walk through it and just kind of hear your thoughts on how you put the album or that song together, and or maybe the reason why you did that song. And I started obviously with track one, Never Forgotten. I love the opening track. The strings were dope. When I'm gone, I'll be living forever. I'm not forgotten. And do you mean you survived through your music after we're all dead and gone? What was the meaning behind that song?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Like art is forever, art is infinite, and I want my music to be timeless. I'm always crazy, like I aim past the stars,
Hmm.
but that's just my personality and that's just how I'm gonna be. But there's people like Mozart. You know what I
Right.
mean? They're remembered for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, and they're like artifacts from like Egypt or something. Like
Yeah.
I want my art to stand up like a pyramid to the
Yeah.
test of time. So that's kind of what I was going with on there. And like art is infinite, knowledge is infinite, power is infinite. Infinity is pretty much that's like the meat and potatoes of the album is I'm trying to
Yeah.
convey that it's like there is no limit, there is no ending, it's everything is forever.
Yeah.
Everything is infinite. So that's what I was pushing heavy throughout the whole album, that concept.
Yeah, I love it, man. Just line after line. My DNA is heavy metal, yours is plastic, and your delivery, man, always mad clear. I love the way that you enunciate words. And was it a hard choice for this song to be the first song of the album, or did you know right away? And it goes with the theme, like you mentioned, infinite power. You took it from the first line.
I was thinking about either having this song be the first one because the opening line, it automatically throws it in there like infinite power that beat, Mike checking it. And the song is about living forever and never being forgotten. So it goes along with the title. But I was like making the track listing, I was thinking like Cosmos is like my favorite track.
Okay.
And I usually like to start
Yeah.
it off with the hardest joint. But I was like, concept wise, it makes more sense to start it off with Never Forgotten.
Yeah.
And then I think that's why I made Cosmos like number two, like
You did.
because I
Yeah.
wanted to get that in front of the people as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So
100%. Yeah. And I thought it worked, man. I think, it was a good starter dish. And then, yeah, Cosmos track two. I'm in the cosmos, you still on Earth. Above you, trash rappers, and you still all hurt. I'm in the cosmos, you still on Earth. Worldwide private jets while you bum on the curb. And another one, man, that was a great track. So that, okay, you just revealed was your favorite song, and why?
this song right here, I feel like my pen has been getting sharper, and then
Absolutely.
recently I've been getting into like just learning about things like world religion, philosophy, just spirituality, just from everywhere, all around the world. I like to learn about everyone's culture, everyone's religion, because the one thing I realize is we're all agreeing on the same things and we're all given the same knowledge, the same wisdom. I like to look for the similarities to see how we're all connected, like as far as like humanity.
Yeah.
And I'd be just studying just randomly throughout the day, just different audio books, different things. I've been on that heavy lately, and that was like the last song I wrote for the album.
Oh, interesting.
So I feel like that that song specifically, that was where my mind was the sharpest
Okay.
because I've been exercising the mind. So I think that's why that one came out so dope. That's why it's one of my favorites. And then also like the concept is like I'm not even like you guys are here on Earth. I ain't even from here. I'm from a whole nother dimension. I'm from a whole nother universe. I'm from a whole nother world. Like
Yeah.
there ain't no comparison. You can't even like say our names next to each other, man. I'm somewhere else. I'm something else. I came down.
Yeah.
I came down all the way. All I came down all the way from up here, down here to tell you that I'm the shit. You know what I mean?
That's
Like
right.
I
And
like
that
the
was a
attitude.
line.
Like,
Yeah.
I came down from the cosmos just to say this. Wiki Smalls is the greatest.
That's
Like
right. Yeah. Yeah.
for me to even talk to you, I got to come down to your level to even talk that. You can't hear me from where I'm at.
Yeah.
I got to come down here to talk to you fucking whack ass rappers and shit, you know?
Yeah.
That's kind of
Hey.
like the attitude behind it, you know?
Yeah, I thought so too. And then I thought just, I'm in the cosmos, and it tied in with the infinite power and still kind of like, hey, I'm talking to you even after I'm gone. So yeah, I thought, yeah, that was a good left-right combo, man. Track 1, 2, man, set it off proper.
Also, like I'm in the cosmos, like I'm hella high too, because I'd be like, I like to get high too. So that's it's like a double entendre.
That's
There's
right,
many meanings
double,
to
triple entendre.
it. Like I'm hella high, like
Yeah.
mushroom wise, but I'm also high skill wise. You know, it's a double entendre.
Hey man, I'm with it, man. Kendrick Lamar, all about it, dude. I love it when cats do that. Hey man, so great song, and then track 3, that guy. Again, man, just lessons, man. Lessons teaching the young folks and just people in general. Success equals sacrifice, so it's a lonely walk. The leeches come around, and when they see you about to spark, but there was nowhere to be found when you were stuck up in the dark. When the cameras turned, that's when they all disappear. That's reality. I'm seeing it now crystal clear. And so I've known you for a number of years now. And so, man, I mean, I saw you at the start. And then I haven't seen anybody just like freaking blow up as hard as you have in those number of years and just double the following. And so I'm sure that relates to your story, man. You probably see a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
people come and go.
Oh yeah, man. You know, people naturally like humanity or like psychology when you learn about that.
Mhm.
People we're all like self-centered emotional creatures
Yeah.
and most people are unaware of it, but when you're aware of it you can kind of like govern yourself or check yourself a little bit or
Yeah.
catch those things, but the average person they're unaware. So like when you meet people you meet them at a certain level in life and
Yep.
then you start rising and they start staying in the same place and not everyone's going to be happy for you. So
Yeah.
part of
It's a shame.
succeeding is like peeling away the snake skin, you know.
Sure.
There's a bunch of fucking snakes and serpents around you, and the higher up you see, like they'll show themselves, like, oh, you're up there, I don't like that, and then
Yeah.
they'll start showing you how salty they are, and then
Yeah.
for
Shame.
me, I when I was younger, I gave a lot of people a lot of chances, you know, to continue to be cool with me, and then I started seeing this is like a reoccurring thing with just human beings, and I'm like, oh shit. So now
Yeah.
when I'm now at this age, if I see just an ounce of envy, then I just keep it moving because it grows like a fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
If they got a little envy now, how much envy are they gonna have when you get up 2 or 3 more levels from now?
Yeah.
You know what I
Sure.
mean? It grows and it grows and it grows. So when I see a fire, I just I'm like I'm across the street. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It spoke to
I'm
me very loudly, that song, because I thought about it. I was like, this dude is just on his trajectory so high, just super super killing it, man. So I'm like, yeah, he probably sees it, man. Folks trying to ride, and who's down for it. You never know, right? And who's down for
yeah,
what? So,
yeah. Like it's crazy because they like you more when you're not successful. When you're not successful, it's all
no,
good. But as soon as you become a threat, it's like that's when it's all really it comes down to insecurity. You know, when you become a
yeah,
threat,
yeah,
people get insecure. And when
yeah,
people get insecure, they get weird. But yeah, that's like
So
That's
dope
kind of
to
what I
see.
started it off too, like the most hated and the most loved. I'm
I
flying
like it.
something like Stardust,
Yeah.
and that's true because people, that when you're a dope person, you're gonna be highly fucking loved, but you're also gonna be
Yeah.
hated too. It's like it's a
Yeah. It
double-edged
comes with
sword,
the territory. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. It just like it's weird, man. It's like they'll find something negative to say, and you're like, man, dude, just be happy, dude. Be happy for the dude, man. He's killing it.
yeah. I don't entertain it. I just know how to dodge and maneuver and get around it.
That's all you need, right?
Yeah. I'm like, oh man, that's crazy. They got some stuff they got to work on. I'm like, and
Hey,
I just
that's
keep
a
it
that's a
moving.
good way to look at it. Nobody's perfect, right? But just duck and
Yeah,
dodge, baby. Hey,
I'm just stay out the way.
yep. Hey, I love it, man. So great song, great reminder of life's realities. And then we talked about what I thought were interludes. Humanity was the first spoken word piece of the album. Again, still killing it that in that way in terms of delivery, right? Not rapping, but spoken word. Crabs in a bucket hold you down like gravity. Humanity is inhuman. They don't care about your story. Social media got us connected, so connected that we can't even communicate in the same room. Just man, another one, man. Can you talk to me why you made that first piece and the thought behind that humanity joint?
The humanity that's just like those life experience that I was talking about earlier, all the envy
Yeah,
and like people not being happy. But
that's right.
uh, my mind, right there, as I was like I told you, I've been learning about a lot of things, and I've been learning about psychology,
Yeah,
micro expressions, and then a big part of that piece is a tribute to Robert Greene because his whole book is pretty much just about psychology. It's kind of like dark psychology, understanding people, how they act the way they act, why they act the way they act, and how to maneuver and dodge around it. So
sure.
I think that book for sure inspired that poem. My life
Oh,
experiences,
yeah,
all these things were happening, and I wasn't sure why the world was the way it was or humanity was the way it was. But once I started doing the knowledge, it finally all made sense.
yeah,
And once it made sense to me, I decided to write that piece. You know what I mean? Because it hasn't made sense until recently. Like, oh, I understand why people are the way they are now. So once I found the understanding, I just wanted to share it. So I had to write that piece, Humanity.
yeah. It's tough, man. I struggle with that too. Just I get frustrated when I see people who feel like they're entitled. And so even later in your spoken word piece, it was funny to me when you mentioned dogs are more loyal, humans are rotten spoiled, yet they feel so royal, feel so entitled. Me, I, and feel so special. And I was like, man, on the target.
Yeah, man. Everybody, we all live in our own world, and all of our own worlds revolve around us.
Yeah,
And that's a natural thing. I wouldn't say that's like necessarily the worst thing, but you have to be aware of that. We all live in our own world, but we live amongst many worlds. Everyone has their own world. You got to respect the people around you too. You know what I mean? Even though your world does revolve around you and it's
yeah,
about protecting yourself first, it's good to be good to people, around you.
yeah,
So it's good to think about others sometimes.
yeah.
It's good to tap into other people's worlds and not just make it all about your world.
No, absolutely, man. We got to figure out how to coexist. And yeah, sometimes it's just,
It's all about balance.
yeah, yeah. It's
That's
just a
the
little
most
challenge.
important thing in life. I think, balance and love, I think, are two of the things that if you can master balance and you can master love, then you can master life. You know what I mean?
Nice. Well said. Well, hey man, I thought that was a good break from the first three songs. Again, to flex your diverse tool set. And then we get to my favorite song, Shine Bright. That was my favorite song on the album. I had like three, Never Forgotten was one of them. But Shine Bright was another one. Don't dim your light for no one. And yeah, it's just the motivational Wicks, the other side, man. So I
I'm
like that.
happy. I'm happy that you said that because that song right there has a completely different vibe from the rest of the album.
Yeah.
It's like its own kind of thing, just put there in the middle. But and I was debating if I was gonna leave it on
Oh,
or take it off because it's super like positive, and I'm really talking a lot of shit. I'm
yeah,
dropping
that's
some
right.
knowledge and some gems on this album, but I'm really talking some shit. But that song, I left that one on there specifically because of my pops. Like I said
Okay.
earlier, he was like a philosopher, and he would drop a lot of wisdom, and
Yeah.
he would talk about stuff like that. And even the other side where I'm like talking my shit, like I walk in the room with my motherfucking nuts dragging.
Yeah.
My pops understood balance. Like he had that
Uh-huh.
positive guru, like native hippie side,
Yeah.
but then he also had that ruthless, like motherfucker. I walk in the room with my nuts dragging, like you know who the fuck I am, like. But I was like, if I'm gonna put my dad on the cover, I
Yeah.
have to show both sides.
Yeah.
And I feel like that song shows the more like shaman side, the guru
Right.
side, the positive side of my pops, and because most of the personality in there is like his militant side.
Yeah.
A lot of his personality it passes down to me, and like now that I'm older in life, I realize, oh damn, we have a lot of similarities. Or I'll catch myself doing something, and
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, I'm just acting like my pops right now. Like we have a lot of we're down near like personality wise, we're damn near twins. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
gotcha.
I was like, I gotta show all sides. So yeah, that shout out to that song, Shine Bright, man.
Yeah. I
I
think
left
it.
that in there to show the light. Show the light side of my father's character.
Yeah, and it reminded me about the Internal Healing album, and again, it just reminds me of how different you can be, right? I think it's good, man. You're not seen as a one-dimensional rapper. You can flip
Yeah.
it when you need to. You can do, and like I said, when I heard you do spoken word, I was like, man, what a great addition to your skill set. And so, yeah, I just liked it, man. It was great, and I really enjoyed it. And so sometimes you got to show out, man, and let them know you can do that kind of stuff. And then you bounce back right into it with Ready for War with Afro. You're like, okay, hey, I'm done. Back to my battle shit, man. I'm gonna talk my
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
Man, that joint was disgusting. And so I think I saw an interview with Afro and he talks about you and he mentions that, you guys are good buddies and you got a couple of joints in the work. And I can't remember, man. I know he does a lot of work with R.A. the Rugged Man, but is he from Cali too? I can't remember.
Yeah. He is from Cali. He's from the Los Angeles area.
Okay.
He's from they got like 1,000 little towns over there, and
Yeah.
LA natives are very particular. Like I live
Yeah.
in Southeast LA or Northeast LA, or
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what section
Okay.
or town he's from, but he's from like Southern California.
Okay.
So I met Afro a little bit after he met RA. Like RA, they had like a competition definition of a rap flow, and Afro won it.
Okay.
And then RA went down there and Afro freestyled on his channel and he was just blowing up, going like viral,
Yeah.
going crazy. And he was like 16 when he blew up.
Jeez.
He was young, and I'm a little bit older than him. I think I was maybe like 21 or 19 or 20 or something at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But my first show that was sold out was Slick Rick and Killer Priest
Okay.
out here in Fresno
Yeah.
at 455. And one of the opening acts, I guess, was like his homie from Central Cali too, I guess. And they
Okay.
had music. So Afro came down just to do a track on that dude's set.
Nice.
And I remember meeting him there and being like, damn, dude, you're dope. I fuck with
Yeah.
RA. I seen your video. You're raw. I'm like, keep doing your thing. I'm like, you're 16. You're fucking living the dream already. Because
Yeah.
RA was putting him on them tours and all that overseas. I was like, you're living the dream. Like, keep doing your thing. And
Yeah.
I asked him at the time, like, oh, how much to make a record? And he's like, oh, I got you. Like, don't trip. And I'm like, nah. I go, if I hit him back, he's going to ask for some money. And then I fast forward, like when I started going to LA heavy, or actually I opened up for RA and then he remembered me. He's like, "Oh, what up, Wicks?" I'm like, "What up?" And then I'll go to LA and I'd always see him and he would say, "What up?" And we would talk just a little bit and then he got me on this posse cut. He does this thing where he gets rappers from like all around the world
Yeah.
and he'll do like 80 song cypher, like kind of like the DJ Clue thing.
Yeah.
And he's got me on two of those. And there's a third one I think coming out in December. I'm gonna be on.
Nice.
But those were the records I got on so far, and then we did this Ready for War, man. And man, I'm happy that he's on the album, and he really gave me a hard ass verse. Like he didn't
That
give me
was,
no,
yeah,
it
no
wasn't no
throwaway.
bullshit, it wasn't no throwaway. He gave me a hard body verse, man. So shout
Yeah.
out to Afro, very humble dude, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool, man. And I love the rapid wordplay that you guys did. You know, are you ready for the war? Dead bodies hit the floor. We come with the gore. Go ahead and bring that weak ass army. Bring more. And it was great. You killed it, and then he killed it too. So deadly combination. I love that song, and I was curious how you guys met. So I didn't know what the connection was.
Yeah, I met him at the Slick Rick show, man, and
Crazy.
he's been dropping crazy right now. If you guys don't follow him, make sure you follow him. All Flows Reach Out on all platforms, and he's been dropping like an album, like probably like every 2 or 3 months or something, dropping a project. So
Beast.
right now is the time to tap in with Afro for sure.
Yeah, 100%. And then again, just next song was Rockstar, something like a rock star smashing guitar over your head, send you the ER. The message is clear that you're just on a rampage, man. Like you said, bringing it back to the roots, man. I enjoy it. Well, what was the thought behind putting this song together?
That beat is just so dark and so
Yeah,
gritty, and then I'm like, I consider like my style is like it's like heavy or it's kind of like hard compared to like a lot of other rap.
yeah,
And sometimes like in my own mind, I describe it like, oh, I make like heavy metal rap. Even though there's not like guitars and screaming and shit, but like that shit is
yeah,
heavy. That shit is hard. So
yeah,
I've always thought that in my own mind, like, oh yeah, like if people ask to describe my style, I'm like, I do like some heavy metal rap. And I'm like, I gotta make like a joint like that. So that was just like my rock star heavy metal rap kind of thing. Like
yeah,
going to the punk shows, people they drink a bunch of 40s and they wow out. You know, sometimes they
yeah.
probably throw up on stage and shit. They do monsters, they do cocaine, they party hard. So
Yeah,
like the second verse, I talk about the party element of that rock star life. But
yeah,
that was just the concept, you know. Like the bars are hard, the beat is gritty,
yep,
and we're rock stars. We're out here just, you know, doing it
yeah.
up, partying and shit.
Yeah, you're certainly living that life right now, man. Just show after show, man. I'm enjoying it. It looks like you're having a good time, my brother.
Oh yeah, man. It's been a blessing, man. It's been a blessing. I can't be mad at it.
Yeah, exactly. And how did the opportunity, real quick before I hop back into the album, how did the opportunity to get out to New York, how did that happen, man? Was it yeah, yeah, tell me a little bit about that experience.
Shout out to Black Books and Rhyme Books. That's my favorite event in all of California. They're based out of Boyle Heights. They do shows all around LA. They've been doing them in LA for like maybe like 9 years now.
Okay.
And when I first went to LA, Beardo's the founder. Shout out to Beardo. I was doing his shows a lot. And if you want to go to LA and you want to hear like the real LA shit and see the real LA culture, like
Yeah.
real local, like this is some LA shit all the way. It's Black Books and Rhyme Books. That event really made me fall in love with the scene
Yeah.
and the culture of the underground LA, you know, like the hip hop side of LA. And I was rocking those I've been rocking them probably for about like 7 years, maybe 8 years. I've been rocking them for a lot of years. And through those shows, I got a following because they're cracking. And then I started getting on the bigger shows with the bigger promoters and the festivals and all that. But
Yep.
fast forward to like 3 years ago, Beardo was telling me he wanted to expand. He wanted to expand the brand, and I was like, "Oh well, this is my favorite event in all of California. I would love to bring it to my hometown. I always tell people in Fresno they got to come down here and they got to experience this and see this, but
Yeah,
a lot of people never even leave the block. So I'm like, if they're not going to leave the block, I'm gonna bring it to the block.
that's what's
So
up.
I've been throwing them in Fresno. I run the Fresno chapter.
Okay.
We've been doing it for 3 years, and then so pretty much we went from Fresno to Salt Lake City, Utah, San Diego, and New York, Harlem, New York. So we're pretty much getting the brand and we're taking it on the road, and we're
Yeah,
trying to make chapters and sections all over the world, pretty much. So
yeah,
we got a chapter in Salt Lake, and we're working
that's
on the New
great.
York one. We went out to New York and San Diego. We got some plans for San Diego in the future,
I like
and
it.
I'm not gonna say it's gonna have 100%, but we're working on getting to Houston, Texas. That's one of the next moves with the
Nice.
Black Books and Rhyme Books Band.
Very
Yeah,
sick.
follow them on Instagram. It's just how it sounds, like one word: Black Books and Rhyme Books, all spout out.
And then we jump back into the album and we talk about the Keep Building track. That one was, I thought, another motivational song. Y'all hit the ceiling, but we keep building. No limit, we climb to see building. And it was a good just note to folks that, hey, man, I'm still grinding even if you aren't, or, it's on you, man. My choice is my choice, and I'm going to keep it moving. You tell
The
me a little bit
whole
about that song?
Yeah, people get a little bit of success and then they get comfortable.
Yeah,
Or they get a little success and then they fall back, or they lay down, and that's how they get stuck. They create their own ceiling, they create their own limits. But just like I said, there is no limit, there is no ceiling. Like, you could point up to the sky and you could keep going up and up and up and up, and it's never gonna end. So that was just like my way of telling you, like, don't ever create a ceiling, don't ever create a box.
yeah,
Continue to move until you can't move. You know what I mean? Just keep moving up. Like,
yeah, I like that.
there's no retirement, there's no stopping. It's just keep going. That's kind of what that's about right there.
Yeah,
Keep
I thought
going.
I thought that was a powerful message, man. And hey, you mentioned I carry the culture. I do it single-handed. So again, it's clear. You're not waiting for anybody. I'm making my own moves, and I do it without you, if I have to. And so that's what I've seen. That's what I love, man. I love your grind, man. You're not dependent on no one, man. You just keep it moving. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, you can't wait for nobody. Like, you could accept help, and help is good when it comes around. But if you're depending on help, you know, you might get stuck. You might hit
Yeah,
that ceiling if you're depending on it. So you got to keep moving, whether you have an army behind you or whether you're walking alone. You got to, as long as you're in motion, it don't matter how fast or how slow you're moving,
yeah,
just stay in motion always.
yeah,
Yeah,
yep. And then the people around you during that journey will tell the story.
that's what
Yeah,
it's all about. Create the memories and
that's right.
continue walking down the path. Continue writing the legacy, creating the journey.
I love it, man. And then you go back into a spoken word joint that I thought was pretty hilarious. Been cold, another good one. Yeah. Hey, let me quote some lines real quick. I love it. She said, "How could you be so heartless? How could you be so cold? You didn't know I was cold when you met me in the North Pole inside the igloo, butt naked and nothing but socks on. Bitch, I've been cold." Yeah. It sounded like you had a fun time writing that joint. Tell me about
That was slightly
it.
based off of true events, slightly based off of true events. But
Oh,
yeah,
was it?
some girl, she told me that statement, like, "How could you be so cold?" And I didn't say nothing in real life, but in my mind, I was just thinking, like, "Bitch, I've been cold." That's just like the thought I had in my mind, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna write a fucking whole thing on that. And I was like, I'm gonna just write all the scenarios and all the, like, ridiculous, over the top reasons why I'm cold. Like, I'm super cold.
I like
But
it.
I mean, I guess just that opening line, that's some real shit. And then the rest of it
Yeah.
is just me kind of like having fun with it, kind of being like silly about it.
Yeah,
being
yeah, that
over
one
the
would be
top.
that'd be a good one to perform. That one I thought was pretty funny.
I think people would like that one live. They would like that one. I think that would go good. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that. I got a little open mic. I got a little open mic thing. I'm a headline. I think I'm gonna do it over there.
Yeah, yeah, it's got some like I said, the humor is good and it just sounds good when you deliver it.
But
And I
yeah, that
love
was
it.
just a question. It was a question that made me think. I was like, all right, that was making me think. Okay, I could write on that now.
Yeah, yeah, very cool, man. And then you jump back into the same messages that you've been doing for the entire album. Track 10 was about money, be about your money because cash rules. And I was like, man, you know what? You fucking right, man. But you talk about, hey, you remember being broke and living bummy, and if you had $1 million, they would all love me. I'm like, yep, that's the truth, man. It's a sad truth. Cash rules, man.
Oh yeah, man, you got to be about your money for sure, because
Yeah,
that's the tool we need for everything. This world is,
yeah,
cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money, dollar dollar bill, y'all.
yeah. I know. Wise
So
words of the move.
you gotta always stay about it. Don't let nothing distract you from getting the bag.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one, I just heard that beat and I was like, oh, that's some fly like fucking pimp, like West Coast smooth shit. Like, let me get a little bit ignorant on this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was saying earlier, it comes down to balance. And then, like I said, also like my father, I describe him as like a shaman. He was like a really funny dude. He knew how to talk his shit and how to pop his collar.
Yeah.
So I had to throw a track in there like that. And I feel like Ben Code and that track specifically are those ones where I'm like showcasing that slick talk slide side, like
Yeah.
we just like to play with words, man. We just like to have fun. We just like to be charismatic. So that's kind of what that is right there.
No, I agree, man. And you have been always charismatic since day one, man. So yeah, enjoyed that. And then again, back to more battle rap, talking that sass track. Uh another one, right? Talking that sass. That's what I do. You mentioned it. If you get offended, it's probably true. Talking that sass, that's what I do. Obliterate enemies, it's nothing new, man. I love it. Consistent.
That hook right there, that hook right there.
Yep.
Oh man, that's a beautiful hook because that hook right there is a trap.
Yeah.
That hook right there, if you're in the crowd and you're listening to it
Yeah.
and you're bobbing your head and then you get mad and you cross your arms and you look angry,
That's you.
yeah, it's a fucking trap because
Yeah.
I did that one live at my release party and there was someone that looked a little mad and but they never heard the song, so they're like
Yeah.
bobbing their head and then they hear that part and then they're just looking like, what the fuck? And then I'm
Yeah.
like, they're
You.
all like bobbing their head, but like angrily. And then I'm like, if you get offended, it's probably true. And then I just looked at their face and they're just like, oh shit, fucking, he got me. He fucking got me. And I wrote that like in there, like, oh, I'm gonna trap him with this one. Like, you better pretend to not be offended when you hear that shit.
Yeah, that's
Because
right. That's
when I
right.
perform that song,
Don't fake
everybody
that
pretend
shit.
to not be offended. Pretend to not be offended when you hear that. The most
Yeah.
offensive is funny because it's like the most offensive song on the album, but
Yeah.
if you're in the same room, do not show that.
Yeah, that's right, man. I
Everyone
love
else in
that.
the room is gonna look around and see. They're gonna look around and be able to point this one out or that one out. So yeah, it's a good little track.
Yeah, I do like the setup songs. And I've seen Slug, he's got a line too where he does that, where he tells everybody to put your hands in the air. And then he mentioned something like if you're not doing it or something. Yeah, he just calls out the people who are like too good enough to like throw their hands in the air. So
Oh, like, oh, you too cool to put your hands up in the next line?
yeah,
Damn,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
awesome.
So I
Oh
thought
yeah, I just did a little trick right there, a little prank, a little rap prank.
yeah, I like that shit, man. And then good, man. And then again, you drop in some more spoken word. You did the song "Dream." We're all living in the simulation. Death is not the final destination, which ties in to your infinite power theme. And that hey, I'm still in the cosmos, still coming down to talk to y'all and spanking cats. Because sometimes they gotta learn. But hey, man, you just talk about leveling up, man. You want to explain that significance of that dream joint?
Yeah, it all comes back to like limitation, you know, like people give up on their dreams, or they limit their dreams, or they limit their goals, and it keeps coming back to infinity. Like one of the lines I'm saying, nothing really matters, so you might as well dream. From billions of miles in space, you can't even be seen. Like we nothing really matters, so you might as well dream. You know, like this life is short. Death is longer than life. So,
Yeah.
and nothing matters. You might as well dream. Like you don't. Everyone, they just put all these this weight on their shoulders. You know, they just put themselves in a box. It's like self bondage, self sabotage, and it's like they worry about the opinions of others, or they worry about approval or validation. But life is short, so none of it really matters. Like
Yeah.
just dream. Don't listen to the dream killers. Don't let nothing hold you down. And there's only one way to go, and it's up. You know what I mean?
Love
So
that.
that's kind of what that comes down to.
Yep, and you've been
Yeah,
living that to the word, man. Yeah, I love it, man. I'm so happy to see you doing your thing and just killing it, man. So, yep, you got me clapping in the stands for sure. But I really enjoyed this joint too as well, and so yeah, that one definitely would be a good one for that other crowd you mentioned in our first interview. You mentioned that you got your folks who like to drink wine, and then your other folks that like to drink
yeah.
beer. Yeah,
Hey, if you're not dreaming, you're not living, man. It's you're being very irresponsible if you're not dreaming, man. What is life without dreams? You know. So I
that's
just
it.
wanted to motivate people to dream. You know.
That's it, man.
You
You
know,
got
we're
to get
always
that
constantly
drive.
being reminded to not society. You know, and the structure is just always telling people to not dream.
Yeah,
Like, you know, even people's parents will tell them not to dream. Even somebody's wife or husband will tell them not to dream, you know.
yeah.
Friends will tell you not to dream. You're 9 to 5. Like
Stick to the grind.
everyone out here is telling you not to dream. But I feel like dreams are one of the most important things in life. You know what I mean?
Just
Once
fuel.
you lose, once you give up and once you lose your dreams, it's almost like you lose your soul. So don't lose your soul for the opinions of everyone around you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Hold on to your soul, hold on to your dreams. That's kind of what it comes down to right there.
Yeah. And so and then you mentioned that same theme, track 13, On and On, my favorite beat on the album and one of my favorite tracks, top three. You mentioned it. You got to dream, chase it, never be complacent. I think that's true, man. So
Yeah, once you start dreaming, you might as well fucking, you know.
yeah.
And once you stop dreaming, it's kind of over. You know, in the
Yeah.
inner world, and your inner world is gonna be empty. And
Oh,
dreams are like it's what keeps your soul full. You know what I mean? If you don't got no dreams, you're gonna feel very hollow.
yeah.
So
I think you nail it on that line. Never be complacent, man. Just don't get tired and don't be satisfied and just keep pushing for good things. The hook was dope, On and On. It's the wisdom that I hold. And I love it, sharing your experiences for the younger and letting people know what you're about. And despite all that battle, hard, I'm rip your head off raps. I see a good dude, man. Just sprinkle that in there,
oh
man, and
yeah,
just man, it's clear, man. A man is on another level, man. I love that song.
it's all about balance, man. You have to be ready for peace,
Okay,
but you gotta also be ready for war, and
that's
you have
it.
to be able to turn it on and off like a light switch in real time. And the most important thing is just knowing when to be what. Like, oh, this is the moment for love. This is the moment for war. That's the hardest thing, you know, is knowing when to hit what switch. You know what I mean? Because you got to turn it on and off. But the on and on song, I just kind of wanted to. I thought that would be a dope one live, like it's on and on and
Yeah,
on,
the hook.
sound waves to microphone. So I wrote that one for the stage, and then
Yep,
also they say is a lot of people believe that music is medicine or music is healing. Like a lot of different religions
I believe that.
use they use drums and stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna talk a little bit of shit here and there, but I'm gonna sprinkle in some good stuff. And then the hook is just like I'm spreading the vibration on and on and on. Sound waves through microphones. The sound waves that you're projecting and the energy that you're projecting is the medicine. That's what I had in my mind. Like on the hook, I'm gonna sprinkle the crowd with some medicine. So
Yeah.
that's what I had in mind for the hook right there, man. Just
Yeah.
sprinkling some medicine on them.
Yeah, great joint, man. And then we move into the final track, which for me always a tricky thing to do is to pick the first and the last track. We jump into the song "Flowers," and so can you share me a little insight why it became your last song, what that song is about?
Yeah, that's rest in peace to my pops. That's a big tribute to him, but also all of my loved ones, all my friends, and people that I've traveled on. So you just got to give your flowers, while they're here. You can't.
Yep.
Don't wait till last minute. Like I say, like life is short. Death is longer than life. So give the love, give the flowers today. Don't wait till tomorrow. Just every day. Just give a
Celebrate.
little bit of love. Give a little bit of love. It's a strange thing. It makes people uncomfortable, or it's hard for people to express love to people while they're here. But
Yeah.
it's important that you do. So I think that's
Yeah.
kind of. I just wanted to touch on that. It doesn't matter how uncomfortable or how awkward it is for you, and you don't got to give it all at once, but sprinkle in some love to your loved ones,
Yeah.
throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the years. It's an important thing to do,
Yeah.
to let people know how you feel about them. So that's what that's all about: giving people the love, giving them the flowers.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think that was the perfect closer to the album. Infinite Power, an amazing record. As I mentioned, just again, an awesome display of your wide and diverse skill set. Always an honor to talk to you, brother, man. And just, I've seen you at the beginning, and I love to see where you're at now, man. Just, going for the pole position and just killing it, man. So thank you again. I appreciate you giving me insight into your awesome album, man. Are there any projects that you want to talk to us about or any final words before we close this session out?
Man, yeah, man. I don't want to say the name. I have the name, but it's too early. And I like to kind of keep things a little mystique. That's just kind of how I do it. But my next album is fucking crazy, dude. It's crazy. It's hard shit, hard
Ooh,
body shit, beginning to end, front to back. Like, there's not a lot of that deepness on there. It's just hard body battle rap, raw shit in your face.
I love it. Who
Total
produced it?
annihilation,
Can you
total
tell us who produced
destruction.
it or no?
I can tell you that. Shout out to Level 13, man.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
he's from the East Coast. I don't know exactly where he's from, but he's dope. Look him up on Instagram.
Okay.
Level
Level
13,
13.
and the production is amazing.
Yeah.
And I already recorded like about half the album.
Okay.
And when you're writing the songs, you're like, oh, this one's a single, this one's a single. But then when you hear the music out the speaker, the way you hear it in your head or the way you're rapping it, you hear it one way, but you don't really know what it is until you hear it out the speaker. So a lot of the songs that I'm like, oh, these are hard, but they're B-sides. Once I went in the studio and it came out the speaker, I was like, oh shit. I was like,
Yeah.
that's just too hard. That ain't no B-side. And it seems like every time I go in the studio, that's what's happening. Like when it's coming out the speaker, it's sounding better than what it sounds like in my head. So I'm
Yeah.
really proud of it right now, man.
Fuck.
Hopefully, I can get to that to you guys like early next year, man.
Love it, man. Can't wait till it drops, dude. Just always working on something, man. That's great.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for having me, man. And
Yeah.
everyone, if you guys
Always.
haven't heard it, check out Infinite Power. It's one of my favorite projects that I've ever done. I feel like my pen was sharper than ever on it, and
Yeah.
I've done like we were talking about balance and infinity for a long time, and as an artist, I've been rapping for so many years, and I've came across so many personalities and styles, and I feel like I'm finally at the point where I mastered all of them.
Okay.
And I was like, on this album, I have to throw in all of them. So this album is, to me, in my opinion, for my career or journey, it's like mastery at its finest.
Yeah.
I've mastered all the styles, and now that I mastered all the styles, I made this album with everything in it.
Yeah.
So infinite power, man. If you're an MC Wicks fan of any era, anytime, beginning, middle, or our present time.
Yeah.
You're gonna love this album right here, Infinite Power.
I love it, man. Amazing record. Hey, tell everybody where to find. Well, two things. One, did you guys put it on physical form? And tell them where to find your music at. Where can they purchase the physical or the digital version of the album?
If you want to purchase the physical, you can hit me up directly on Instagram, MC underscore Wicks, WICKS underscore 559.
Yep.
We have the digital on all platforms, all streaming platforms. And but if you want to support, one of my favorite platforms is Bandcamp. So mcwicks.bandcamp.com. We have it right there with a bunch of other albums and including a few albums that are exclusive just to Bandcamp. So there's some extra music on Bandcamp that's nowhere else. So check out the Bandcamp, mcwicks.bandcamp.com. And yeah, follow me on all platforms, stream it on all platforms, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
All day, man. MC Wicks. Hey, brother, thank you again. I can't wait to get this out, man. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Again, I appreciate you making time to do this.
Oh, yeah, you already know, man. Oh, yeah, peace, peace.